Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, everybody that's watching me today. If you've not seen me before, my name is Aneke. Today I'll be teaching you some questions in mathematics, some past questions in mathematics. I've just written the questions that I'm going to be dealing with on the board. I hope you can see it right now. I'm sure the camera is trying to get that question so that you can see very, very well. I chose not to write where I got these questions from because I would like my students to attempt these questions first before I show them how it is solved. When you see this video, I'd like you to use the pause and play button in your phone or your device so that you can at least attempt the questions first before I solve it. Like I said earlier, if you can solve the question, fine for us. If you can't, I'll show you the steps on how these questions are solved. If you have other ways of solving this question too, I like that you go to the comment section of our platform and give us your own ideas on how this question too can be solved. Without further ado, I say that Sonny is twice as old as Wally. 4 years ago, he was 4 times as old as Wally. In how many years' time will the sum of their ages be 66? This is a standard question. Sonny's age is dependent on Wally's age. So for me to get this question right, I have to put Sonny's age and Wally's age in terms of a variable. So on the other side of the board, I'm going to write how this question is supposed to be solved and the steps I have to follow to solve this question. So I have my solution here. The question says that Sonny is twice as old as Wally, so I have to say let Wally's age be X. You can choose any variable, any of the letters can be used to represent Wally's age. Since it's an unknown, I have to leave it as X. Then I write Sonny's age in terms of Wally's age. The question says Sonny is twice as old. So since Sonny is twice as old, then I say Sonny's age will be 2x because we just said he's twice as old as Wally. Now the other part of the question says 4 years ago, he was 4 times as old as Wally. Now, what do they mean by 4 years ago? 4 years ago for me is also 4 years ago for anybody. It's 4 years ago for you watching this video right now. So 4 years ago, if I'm 20, 4 years ago means I'm going to be 16. If you're 30, 4 years ago means you're going to be 26, and that's the case maybe. So since we are dealing with letters, I have to say that 4 years ago for both of them, I have to subtract 4 from their different ages. So I'll say 4 years ago, and Wally will be, Wally's age will be X minus 4. Sonny will as well be, Sonny's age will be 2x minus 4 as well. So I've subtracted 4 from both of their ages so that I can write my expression in terms of what the question here is saying. So since they said 4 years ago he was 4 times as Wally's age, it means 4 times whatever Wally's age is will be what Sonny's age is. So in order to write this expression in an equation, I'll say 2x minus 4, which represents Sonny's age, is equals to 4 times Wally's age. I put that in brackets because to multiply a binomial by a variable, you have to put it in brackets so that the 4 affects this one. I believe from here any math student can relate. You can as well remove the bracket from this one and take like terms as the case may be so that you can get the value of x. So I'm going to do that straight ahead. I have 2x minus 4 is equal to 4x minus 16. The 4 multiplies x and 4 as well multiplies 16. 4 multiplies 4 to get 16. Then from here I'm going to take like terms. I like taking my like terms so that my x variable will be independent of a negative sign. In other words, my x value should not have a negative sign. I know some teachers would like their 4x to come over to this side and 4 going over to the other side. Yes, but I prefer taking my 2x to this side and 16 to the other side. So I take my 16 to this side, it becomes 16 minus 4 is equals to 4x minus 2x. 16 minus 4 here is 12, and 4x minus 2x is another 2x. So I divide both sides by 2. If you do that, you're going to get the 6 is equal to x. It means that x is equal to 6. Now you have been able to know what the value of x is. And x represents Wale's age. X represents Wale's age. It means that Wale is 6 years old. Wale is 6 years old. I'm going to use Wale's age now to get Sonny's age. You can see that since Sonny is twice as old as Wale, we can get Sonny's age from Wale's age by multiplying by 2. Okay, we've gotten Wale's age to be 6 years. So because we said Sonny is twice as old, we have to say therefore Sonny is 2 times 6, which is equal to 12 years. Now, the question did not ask us to just get Wale and Sonny's age. The question said we should get the number of years. It will take the sum of their ages to be 66. It says, in how many years' time will the sum of their ages be 66? So the thing is, Wale is definitely going to grow as years are passing, and Sonny is also going to grow as years are passing as well. So in order to convert this expression into a statement, I'm going to write 6 plus a certain number of years plus again 12 plus a certain number of years, or that same number of years, is equal to 66. The 6 here represents Wale's age. The 12 here represents Sonny's age. The y represents the number of years they are going to add to their ages, so that the sum of the ages is going to be 66. And I repeated it for Sonny, because as Wale is growing, Sonny is also growing. If I add 5 years to my age, definitely you're going to add 5 years to your age. So this expression represents what is written here. So I'm going to take like terms once again and get the value of y. 6 plus 12 is 18. I change my marker. 6 plus 12 is 18 plus y is 2y. And that is equal to 66. What do I do next? I take like terms. 18 will go over to the other side and meet 66. And this becomes 2y is equal to 66 minus 18. When 18 goes to the other side, it turns minus. So what do I do next? I have that 2y is equal to 66 minus 18 is 48. You can do a quick check with the calculator to confirm that. Then I have that y is equal to 48 divided by 2. That makes it 24. So this is what they are asking for. This is the number of years that when their ages are added together, it's going to be 66. So the answer for this question is 24 years. We've gotten y to be equal to 24. And this is what they're asking for. This is the number of years it's going to take before the sum of their ages gets to 66. We can do a confirmation if you want. We can as well check if what Wale will be in 24 years' time, and what Sonny will be in also 24 years' time. So you can make a quick check Wale is 6 plus 24. He is going to be 30. Sonny is 12 plus 24. He is going to be 36. And if you check, 30 plus 36 is equal to 66 years. So that shows that the 24 years we got here is correct. We've just done that and we've just made sure that the ages summed up to 66. Okay, the next question here says that 2 points M and N on the surface of the Earth are given by their latitudes and longitude as M 50 degrees south and 15 degrees east, and N 50 degrees south and 75 degrees east. The question says, calculate the radius of the parallel of latitude on which M and N lie. The B part of the question says, the distance MN measured along the parallel of latitude. So this is a question that requires that we find distance and radius. On the surface of the Earth, which we have a globe here to represent that, we always know our equator, which is a line that divides the surface of the Earth into two halves and is parallel to the horizontal. Then we have the Greenwich Meridian, which is a line of longitude and divides the surface of the Earth into two equal halves and parallel to the vertical axis. So these 2 points are actually existing on this surface of the Earth. M, they said, is on latitude 50 degrees south, means M is somewhere down this Earth, and is also on 15 degrees east, that shows is on this side of the world. Similarly, N is also at 50 degrees south and 75 degrees east. So with this knowledge, I can be able, what they're asking us to find is to find that radius of the Earth where both points lie. So I'm going to draw a representation of this world or this globe on the board to show my point. So the first thing you must always do when you are solving latitude and longitude question, especially when it's a wide question, is to draw your diagram to represent the points that are given. So on the board here, I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw a circle. I'll draw a circle. And this, my circle, represents the Earth. You must always put your equator and your Greenwich Meridian. This side of the world represents the east section, while this represents the west. This is the north and the south. These are the first things you must draw when you're answering questions concerning longitude and latitude. Now I'm going to represent the points that are given to me in my diagram. M is 50 degrees south, so I have to draw something near perfect. This is 0 because that represents the equator. South is downwards here. 50 is somewhere close to this point. And then 15 degrees east, I'm going to draw a line from the longitude, and this represents 15. So this is where M is. This is my point M. This is 15 degrees east, and this is 50 degrees south. I've been able to locate my point M in my diagram. The next thing I have to do now is to locate N as well. N is on the same latitude, so the line representing 50 degrees south will also be used for N. So the only thing I have to draw now is the 75 degrees east. So since it's on the same side of the Greenwich Meridian, my 75 is going to be around here. So this point represents my 75 degrees east. And this is where my N is. So that's my N, that's the 75 degrees east, and that's all. This diagram alone carries some mark. It shows you are getting the steps in getting the question. So what next am I asked to find? Having drawn the diagram, they're asking us to find the radius of the parallel of latitude on which M lie. They mean the radius of this circle. Supposing this circle is cut into 2 equal halves. It's going to be something like this. If I cut this portion of the world according to this latitude that I've drawn, it will come out as something like this. It's not as big as the entire section of the world. It's not as big as cutting an orange or cutting this globe from the middle. So we don't expect that the radius of the globe at the middle will be the same as the radius of the globe when it is cut from here. Think of cutting an orange from the bottom. You don't expect the circle you're going to get to be as big as cutting it from the center. So this is what it will be if I do the cut. This is the radius they're asking me of. It's a radius. And that radius is called radius of the parallel of latitude. The radius is given by r being equal to big R cos phi. R is given by big R cos phi. We use phi to represent their common latitude. And R here represents the radius of the Earth. The radius of the Earth was given to us as 6,400 kilometers. So I've gotten all I need to get the radius. I want my parents to do an assignment for me. I like them to just go to their internet and research and find out how the radius of the world was calculated. Please, I want this to be an interactive session. So I'm also involving our parents in this session. I want us to do a thing. Let them get or do their research and tell us how the radius of the Earth, because the Earth we know is very, very big, and it will be difficult for a person to travel around it and definitely come up with the radius. So I just want you to do an assignment for me. Please tell the school or tell us how the radius of the Earth was found to be 6,400. But in this particular case, it was given to us as 6,400. So I'm going to use that in solving the question. So R becomes 6,400 times cos 50. I've said that before, that the phi here represents their common latitude. And if you notice in the question, M is 50 and N is also on the same latitude, 50. That's all you must use each time you're given a question like this. So I'm going to go to my calculator and get this value. So you can as well impute it to confirm the answer that I'm going to write now on the board. I have 6,400 times cos 50. And that gives us 4,113.8. So I write that 4,113.8, approximately 4,114 kilometers. It's smaller than what the radius of the Earth is, and of course that's what I said before, knowing that the radius of this small circle will be smaller than the entire radius of the Earth, which is 6,400. So I'm going to go to the next question, which is the B part. The B part of the question says we should find the distance MN measured along the parallel of latitude. So like I said before, it's like traveling from a city down this portion of the Earth to another portion here. These are some of the calculations that pilots must make if planes are to be flown in an autopilot mode. They need to know this distance so that when it gets to that point, the plane starts giving them an indication that a landing should take place. So the distance of that portion of the Earth is given by D being equal to theta over 360 times 2 pi r cos phi. We've used this before, and that's the importance of getting the radius of that portion of the Earth. Theta here represents the angle between these 2 points. And the angle between these 2 points can be gotten from the 15 degrees east and the 75 degrees east. They are on the same side of the Greenwich Meridian. So to get the angle between those 2 points, we have to subtract. If they were on different side of this Greenwich Meridian, we would have added to get the angle between them. So since they're on the same side, theta becomes equal to 75, is the bigger one, minus 15. That makes 60 degrees. So we have just found the angle between R, M, and N. We're going to impute all our values here in order to get the distance between M and N. So theta has now been found to be 60 over 360 times 2 times pi, which is 22 over 7, times R, which was given to us as 6,400, times cos 50. We've said this before. You can as well use the answer we got when we did 6,400 times cos 50 to save you the stress of this long calculation. So this will be imputed in a calculator to get the final answer. So using my calculator, I already have my 6,400 cos 50 to be 4113.8, which we approximated to 4114. So I just say times pi times 2 times 60 over 360 in a bracket. The answer we got here is 4,308.0. So the 0.0 is insignificant. So I write the final answer as 4,308 kilometers. This represents the distance between 4,308. That answers the B part of the question. We hope you enjoyed this section. Well, I'm going to be leaving you with certain assignments on the board. I want you to go to the comment section and make your contribution. If you have other ways of solving what I've just done in the board, I will appreciate. If you have other questions you might like to throw to us, we will also appreciate. I'm going to write out the question I'll be leaving for our students. I believe our parents will take the one that I give to them seriously. Thank you very much. I have an assignment for my students. The questions are not too plenty. I'd like you to attempt them and send via the email address that is showing on your screen. The questions are here. The first one says, given that sine x is equals to 5 over 13, and x is between 0 and 90 degrees, find the value of cos x minus 2 sine x all over 2 tan x rather. I take that again. The question says, given that sine x is equals to 5 over 13 and x is between 0 and 90, find cos x minus 2 sine x all over 2 tan x. That's a simple one to do. I'm sure if you know the drill, you'll know what to do. The second one says a ladder LA leans against a vertical pole at a point L, which is 9.6 meters above the ground. The ladder LA, the length of the ladder is LA, leans against a vertical pole at a point L, which is 9.6 meters above the ground. Another ladder, LB, 12 meters long, leans on the opposite side of the pole and at the same point L. If A and B are 10 meters apart and on the same straight line as the foot of the pole, calculate correct to two significant figures the length of ladder LE and the second one, angle which LA makes with the ground. angle which LA makes with the ground. I'll give you a hint. Try drawing a diagram to represent that question before you can start solving it. That will tell you what to find first and what to find next. The third and final question says, find the distance measured along the parallel of latitude between Monrovia, which is 6.3 degrees north and 10.8 degrees west, and Benin City, which is on the same 6.3 degrees north and 5.7 degrees east. Very similar to the question we did earlier. Please solve these questions and send your answer or solution through the email anekevictor16@yahoo.com. anekevictor16@yahoo.com. Thank you very much.